This is a circuit I've just wired up real quick to just sort of refamiliarize myself with the 555 timer chip right there in the center. It's a little different. It's sort of a kludged together circuit, combination of the original Make Electronics book and the More Electronics book. But what I've done here is, here's a resistor and here's a capacitor. I selected these values based on a chart on page, oh shoot, I knew I was going to do this. Right here, page 157 of the original Make Electronics book. So basically you find your capacitor and your resistor values and it tells you what the pulse length will be. I selected this one right here, 5.2 for a 10 microfarad capacitor and a 470K resistor. So that's what I have here. And I also added an LED right here. I've got a resistor right here just to protect it, but I've got an LED right here. And then finally, I couldn't find a push button, so I've got this little SPDT switch right here that goes, on and off. I have to switch it manually. But here's the interesting thing. With the way I've got this circuit set up, it's supposed to pulse for about 5.2 seconds, give or take. 5.2 is kind of, I can't really count to 5.2 but in tenth of a second increments. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you that when I apply power, you're going to see the LED light up. And when I turn it on, I start counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Anytime between there, if I turn off the power, the LED will stay lit, but it will still turn off at around 5 seconds. So if I flip it on and go 1 Mississippi and then flip it off, I'm going to count 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then you'll see the LED go off. But if I flip it on and go 1, 2, 3, and then I flip it off at 3, when I count 4, 5, you'll see it go off. So it's a really good, you're going to be able to see the pulse length real easy here. So let's go ahead and try it. Let me make sure this is off. Okay, the LED, let me turn it off. Hold on, just let the LED go off. Okay, right now the switch is off. So I'm going to switch it on and I'm going to start counting. And then I'm going to count to 1 Mississippi, then flip it off. Here we go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and it went off. Now I'm going to count to 3 Mississippi and then flip it off. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and it went off. Great little experiment here. You can set this up real easy. It didn't take long at all. Sorry for the mess of wires here, but it helped me remember what the 555 timer chip. Now this is a mono-stable circuit, if I remember it, if I'm calling it correct. But some of the experiments coming up in Make More Electronics are going to use the 555 timer chip, and so if you have the Make Electronics book, I highly recommend that you turn to chapter 4 and start rereading. Just if you already know it, great, but you'll get a really good tutorial on the 555. You'll also get a little history about it back here somewhere. Here's how it works, actually, the chemistry involved, and then the guy who invented it and some other stuff. So there's the circuit, and now I am going to be moving on to experiment number 5.